event speech. So she's gonna take an hour time and for showing us about some experience that she's got for incident response, vulnerability management, and some very good stuff like she thinks it's very good for the new beginner and how they can come into the cybersecurity area. So at the very beginning, let me just quickly introduce ourselves. And this community is called TechSec, and we regularly just schedule the online meetup with different kind of topics. We are not really restricted to only cybersecurity, although most of us are cybersecurity professions. We were talking about AI, we talked about data technology, we were talking about cloud, edge protection, whole bunch of other things to empower your career and boost up your technical experience, which will help you to make your career ladder even further. So in terms of the service that we provide the career coaching, interview mock-up, and CV polishing, and also study group, and where fresh graduates or people who want to come into cybersecurity area can quickly just get the technical skill sets is fundamental and to build up their CV quickly. So today we'll have Coco and for sharing the incident response and vulnerability management. At the end of that, I will pick up 5 to 10 questions and to ask Coco if we still have enough time for that. All right, thanks. Thanks for that, Coco. Please take it over.
Thank you, team. Okay, just bear with me. Give me 1 second. Let me share my screen. Okay, can you guys see it?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks, team, and hi, guys. I'm Coco. So I'm honored to be the very first speaker at. I think this is the first meetup for teams. I actually don't. I forgot the name, but yes, at the year 2025, and it's really honored to be here. I think I have known team for almost a year now, I think. So though, I mean, majority of the time we only like interact online, majority on WeChat. But however, I think we share quite a lot of common views on the industry. And also, I'm really grateful for his recognition and the invitation to be part of this event. Sorry, like if you I actually opened my camera, you guys can see my face, right? So yesterday I actually hosted a nearly 100 people meeting at work, which can like completely dry my energy. So you see that I was still wearing my pajama, and yeah, I would say this is a typical security engineer look like. So bear with me. Okay, back to our topic today. So today I will introduce you a bit on incident response and vulnerability management. Yeah, there we go. So who am I? So first, you can always contact me on LinkedIn. You can just say this is my LinkedIn profile. To be honest, I'm not really active on LinkedIn, and I just time to time check it. But if you leave me a message, maybe after 2 or 3 days, I will see it, and I will just reply to you. I'm a bit about me. After I graduate from college, maybe back to 2010. I'm a bit old now. Compared with, I guess there's quite a lot of young people into this event, right? So after I graduated from university, I joined a company named Semantic. Actually, I think the name is not Semantic. I actually forgot the company's name. I'm there to be the service desk for around 1 year. So Semantic actually is an antivirus software. And then after that, I spent another 3 years as a AM engineer in Fidelity, which is a finance company. And just during the time I got married, gave birth to my son. And then at that time, I just think about my own career life. And then I was like, okay, maybe it's time to do some change. So I actually apply like immigration to both like Australia and New Zealand. New Zealand actually offer the resident visa in 3 months, so I just come here. So after I come here, I joined Spark, which is the currently the biggest telecommunication in New Zealand market. So actually until this year, September, I already it's almost 8 years when I'm in the team. So the very first 2 years, I'm the junior and intermediate engineer instead of actually not engineer, like analyst in cyber defense operation team. And the other 5 years, I'm in the incident response team. And last year, October, I got promoted to the chapter leader role of cyber defense automation and enablement team. A bit about the team. So actually, we the whole security team I'm in actually is quite big team. We almost have around 100 people. So we have analysts, engineers, and specialists. So this is the basic structure of the team. I mean, the top one definitely is the CISO, and under him we have a whole like CDO team, cyber defense team. Inside of the whole cyber defense team can make up with 5 teams. So I have red team, who is doing offensive security assessment and threat hunting. We have traditional blue team who is doing incident response and vulnerability management. And then we have the automation team, which is the team I'm currently leading on. And we also have MSP team, who is responsible for manage the security service. We actually sell our security service to New Zealand market. And also have CDA team, which is our junior analyst team. Except the CDO team, we also have AM team who is doing identity and access management. We have CA team, which is certificate and assurance team, who is helping us to pass certain like security certificates, because we as a company we sell our like service on the market, like mobile, broadband, those kind of things. So all of those things you need pass certain certificate, then you can sell your service on the market. So we definitely need pass some certificate like ISO, PCI DSS, NZSM. I guess NZSM maybe a New Zealand dedicated one. Australia maybe some other things. I'm not familiar about Australia market. So yeah, we also have a GRA team who is working, who is responsible for governance, risks, and architectures. Uh, Back to what my team is doing, my team basically is doing all the rest work, which traditional red and blue are not working on. So security engineering is one part of it, and I'm on the way to build the application security and cloud security function in Spark. Definitely automation is one of the area I really focus on, which actually, although I'm under the whole big CDO team, but actually this automation service I provide is facing to all the chapters under the CISO. Yeah, and strategy intelligence is also one of my scope. I also have metrics and the dashboard under my area. Yeah. So about today's objectives. Um, so today's objectives is mainly really on understand the basic of incident response and vulnerability management. But to be honest, I don't really want to just discuss those. I probably will add quite a lot of my own insights of the industry, but I do want to mention that because different people work in different industry, and the security risks or security interests for different industry will be quite different. So my insights or my ideas will be purely from a telecommunication perspective. But maybe if you ask another security expert from other industry, they will tell you something a bit different. Um, but yeah, I guess today just sharing those kind of things. So yeah. Also, we'll learn some industry best practice. That's actually also come to something that I just mentioned, because different industry they are different. So um, I would say from a technical perspective, there are quite a lot industry best practice. But if you go down to business part, the best practice actually changed. So for example, I'm from telecommunication like industry, right? Um, So the ICA thing, the integrated confidential availability, actually is not best practice, but this is something I want to mention here. So, for example, I'm from telecommunication industry. So the security interest or security risks I focus on maybe is more around availability, because we need to provide a really stable mobile and broadband services on the market. But take Tim as an example. I know Tim works at kind of like consultant or finance industry. So if you ask about his industries to security interests, that may be more around integrity and confidentiality. So maybe it's for them is more important to, let's say, secure customer data. But I'm not saying for telecommunication we don't secure customer data. I just say when there's something happen, this definitely have a priority there. So I just introduce you a bit of the best practice in the market based on my from what I see from my eyes. After you join into the industry, I guess you will have your own understanding about what best practice is. Yeah, and also we will get familiar with tools and frameworks. To be honest, I can't get you guys familiar with tools within a really short time, but I do want to mention several names of those tools. So after this session, you get some basic idea, or as a starting point, you know that where you start to search and where you start to learn. Um, and also, I will discuss some real world scenarios with you. Here, I actually want to mention one thing. This is actually not really to technical things, but I want to tell you guys like like my own personal experience. So back to my 7 to 10 years work experience, there are several moments that really impact my career path or my ideas how where I want to go in my career. So I don't know if in you guys in Australia, if you ever know that there's a back to 2019, these Christchurch mask shooting thing. So there's a attacker, um, like shoot people in the mask and then just do a live video and post everything online. So after the attack, I participated in the mitigation of the impacts of those videos as part of the initiative led by New Zealand government. So I think until today, I still cannot really disclose too much information on it, how we do that and what we do. But I would say that this is the moment that actually I changed my opinion on my job, on my like idea to all my view to review deeply about my job. What is the meaningful part of my job? So I would say like actually cybersecurity means a lot on the society. So this sometime until today for me is not just a job. Yeah, I will do earn quite good salary on it, but on the other hand, each time when I participate into some incident response, I feel like I'm protecting some people on the digital world. Yeah. So what is incident response? I won't just repeat what I write in the slides, but this is the definition. This is what we try to do, and this is the goal. Um, what I want to tell you guys is a bit about my idea of what is um, like what is same, what is incident response. So traditional incident response, majority of them actually starts from you get an alert from your SIEM, right? No matter what SIEM you use, you can use Splunk, you can use Sentinel, you can use Alien Vault, or maybe the alert come from your EDR, your endpoints detection, right? Like Defender, CrosStrack. So during the investigation step, um, you may like escalate or um, downgrade the priority of the alert. So if I'm wearing a junior engineer hat, you probably will have a handbook aside with you, which provided by your senior, which have some sort of predefined procedures and investigation steps. So you will need to follow it and do whatever it tells you. So that's actually traditional SOC or CDO people would like to do. So you will see like junior engineers, analysts, triage tickets, and senior engineers just analysts write those pre-plans for junior to follow. But however, what I want to actually say here is to make your SIM or EDR works, you actually need data. You need a lot of data, or you need a lot of logs flow into it to make it work. So for example, for some organizations like Spark, we have around like I think 5,000 people. And a lot of some of them are offshore staffs or across several different countries. We have people at Malaysia, we have people at India. Those are our developers. So it's actually really hard. It's really hard for security team to capture every single log generated by each of the people in the organization and generated by every single devices in the organization. So there's actually when you do incident response, there's actually a very important concept is you need to identify who is the people trigger the alert, what the assets trigger the alert, what is the if the people is let's say a senior management people who can access a lot of sensitive data, or um, the device trigger the alerts, or the device you maybe find out evidence like looks like got hacked, that device is a critical system device, like that device is inside of your is one of the support device in your CRM system, which handle your customer data, or that device is part is your DB server, whatever, those kind of things. So those things actually really impact you how to do your incident response. So incident response actually is just it's really not just a receive an alert and just say it and do it. You know, based on all the informations you gather, you gather, you probably need to twist the twist the things, and then based on those different criteria, the priority of the incident will be go high, go down, and then that's actually impact how you do your let's say remediation works. Yeah. um so actually there's another thing I want to talk with you guys is because by with the increasing adoption of cloud and the explorer of data, so more than half of our recently P1 incident, which is the highest priority, actually are no longer triggered by predefined rules or policies inside of the same we use. Majority of them, give me a second, sorry. I should say, why this so oh, sorry guys, just continue that. I just say okay. So yeah, so the recent incident we see now, like the P1 incidents we see today, they are no longer triggered by, let's say, predefined rules or policies. Instead, many incidents now are identified by the process of threat hunting and or through the combination of threat intelligence and the threat hunting. So we actually, during the way we catch um, the like APT behavior patterns, we actually find quite a lot like incidents. That's actually the difference between what I let's say did 5 or 7 years when I first stepped into the industry. Um, yeah, and also maybe take an easy simple example. Let's take phishing as an example. So several years ago, when I first stepped into the industry, um, when I began to do incident response, I can see that there quite a lot of phishing attack, and mainly around those senior management people because they have, you know, access to some of those sensitive data, those kind of things. But now what we find is the phishing attack actually they looks like don't pay much that many attention on those senior people. They began to um, try to attack the our cloud like cloud administrator. Um, I guess after um, pandemic, there's quite a lot of company they move their like the way they work. Majority of people began to change to a hybrid way to do their work, and quite a lot companies are on the way to migrate their assets from on-prem to cloud. So actually, a cloud engine, I mean, administrator can see more than somehow some perspective can see more than a senior management team member. So we began to see the difference because I still remember that when I was T1 or T2 engineer, like 1 or 2 days we will see like our CEO contact us, says, oh yeah, I got this email, can you have us have me have a look, and we can identify that, oh, that's a waiting, that's like a type of phishing that attacks senior people. But recently 1 or 2 years, especially after COVID, that we don't really receive that things. And instead, we begin to see that those attackers spend quite a lot of time, let's say on LinkedIn, to try to understand the company's structure, and then send some specified designed emails to those administrators. And we during the procedure, we do see that people just share their password. Yeah. So yeah, that's today's incident response actually has already have a really significant difference with 5 or 7 years ago. So the things I actually tell my teammates, don't always follow the pre-plans, don't always follow procedures, because the moment you write the procedures inside of it is actually already outdated. So we need, as an incident response team, as an incident responder, what we always need to do is try to catch what the attacker thinks. You need to think as an attacker, and then you know how to detect that. So that's why um, I think for the people who haven't joined the industry, I would say like incident response is actually a really good start. But if you're really interested, I would say the trend of the whole industry, incident response will take less and less percentage of a security engineer like workload or life. So you will the whole like industry will soon turn to um or soon drive by threat hunting and automation, and together with threat intelligence. Yeah. Okay, so this is just the normal incident response life cycle. So majority of the incident follow the same life cycle. Um, this one is really just common one. So when you do the preparation, like I mentioned, you need your senior maybe write a policy, write a playbook, and then provide some training to the junior, and then you begin to do the detection in the system, and then when there is an incident trigger, you begin to contain it, remediate, and recover it. And after all the things finished, you will have a lesson learned to the, to within the team, or you also need, or you find something that you are missing in the process, and you do some process improvement. It's quite common in majority. I think it is quite common in majority of the security team. Yeah. And then this is the common types of security incidents. Like I mentioned, we have phishing. Those are the social engineering attacks. We have malware, ransomware. Actually, I think um, for the for I mean for the last 3 or 5 years, I still, especially after COVID, the we have more and more ransomware cases. We also see the trend in our customers. Yeah. And um, this, 1 or 2 years, we also see insider threats. DDoS, actually, that's always something happen for telecommunication industry. I guess majority of the telco companies, they actually see the same things. Because like we need provide a stable mobile and broadband like services on the market, so that's actually common. But I do see the trend that the DDoS actually also attack bank a lot. I think last year around October, there's quite big one in New Zealand, bank industry. Like I think 2 or 3 of our customers got impacted. There's actually DDoS like last I think for around 5 days or something like that. Yeah, I think Westpac is one of that got impacted. And their main set is was taken down by the DDoS. Yeah, but I'm if you guys interested, you can just Google have a look. But to be honest, the method to detect DDoS and remediate DDoS is quite common. Um, you just say the traffic like goes up, goes peak, and then you begin to scrap the bad traffic, or you just split the traffic in your city. And there's quite a lot. I mean, there are several vendors who are really nice in the market too, and I would say Cloudflare actually is one of the best. I think last year they have a record to mitigate. I can't exactly remember, but after the sharing, I can find the link to you guys. And the technical the part for Cloudflare to mitigate the DDoS is quite impressive. Yeah. And we also have some like data breach and unauthorized access. That's also another type of common security incidents. Data leaking is another one. This one I actually want to mention, and I think this one of the trend that majority of the company haven't paid attention. Um, because of um, the whole AI thing, um, I um, I began to say that those like big AI companies like OpenAI, Cloud, and Google, they actually use their agent nonstop scan the whole internet. I guess actually you guys probably already see the news that it says they don't have enough data on the internet to train their AI. But from what we seen is we see on the all the borders or the prompts we see around we implement around our network, we see the non-stop scanning us for anything we public on the internet. So actually here introduce a quite like significant problem, which is there's quite a lot of companies that we write and build our website or publish things by ourselves, and we cannot uh, like deny that some of the developers and some of the admins they don't really pay attention. Somehow they will make mistake to publish some information on public. But because of those things, non-stop scan your environment, and then those AI module actually has a chance to learn your sensitive data. I think this is actually not a like surprise, um, but I would say compare with um, the other scanners previously before AI, this is something that, oh, sorry, just, yeah. This is something like I think majority of the company maybe don't really have a method how they can remediate this kind of thing. Even for like my company, I actually don't really know how we can protect that because we we do have a really huge and big attack surface, especially under the background that we migrate quite a lot of things on cloud. You think about your attack surface, actually it's changed a lot. Like previously, if you only have your on-prem things, all the things will be you actively post to internet or publish to internet. But once you migrate to cloud, even some little misconfiguration will make you exposed to internet. And on the other hand, you have something that continue scan you and to learn the things you expose to internet, and especially that thing can remember and record all of those things. So yeah, it's actually quite challenge for security people. Yeah, then back to incident response tools and technologies. Um, I at least basically majority of the tools I use, but I know that definitely there are quite a lot of tools that something I I didn't list it here like Darktrace or whatever. There's so many vendors on the market. Um, I would say if you are like entry level person, you just each of them you probably just pick one and um, have some basic understanding what it is, and that's it. Um, but for some people that who is in the industry and have some basic ideas, I think it's really a fun topic that which vendor you choose and what function you want and which vendor is better than another one. Yeah. Cool. And let's move to vulnerability management. Um, Again, I won't just repeat on the slides. You guys can just read it and have a look on it. I can also share the slides to team, and if you like, you guys would like to have a look, and then you just can just have a proper read after the session. But what I want to mention, what is security posture and why it is why vulnerability management is important is because, to be honest, there are several. I think there are only one or two things in security. I think is proactive instead of really passive detect something. So you think about those tools like IDS, like Splunk, alerts. Those are really passive thing, or firewall alerts, or mm, yeah, those, I mean, like I5 load balancer, action, those kind of things. Those kind of things are all really passive. It's more like there's a type of traffic come in and then match to something, and then you take action, those kind of things. But vulnerability management it is because you actually actively scan your environment. So I would say that's actually the thing that you maybe can be one step ahead the attacker. So um so yeah, so that's why I think actually for the for I mean for majority of the companies, vulnerability management is really important. But I also want to mention that for vulnerability management actually is also really hard and really difficult in the real world. Yeah, because security team we can scan the environment, but majority of the time, especially I mean, it also really depends your organization's size. But for majority of the big organization, we are not the one who can take the remediation action. Because let's say if I scan the SQL database, I find something, and I'm definitely not the DB guy to remediate it. To be honest, I have less knowledge on that, right? But let's say if I scan a firewall and find out, okay, this FortiGate firewall need to be patched. It has so many, I mean, it's on the lower version. Um, I'm not the firewall guy to patch it, right? So we need to have let's say a procedure to push those things to different teams to patch it. So that's actually um, the the reason why I'm saying it's a bit hard, because you always need to talk with other team to convince them to patch it, or you need to assess the impact with that team together to say if it is worth to patch it, because this is definitely a situation that this type of device, all the type of assets, even the assets taken down by attacker, the loss use, I mean, the loss is less than what you spend on patch it. This truly something happened in the real, I mean, real work. Yeah. And yeah, this is the vulnerability management lifecycle. I would say this is also something like mm, common in the industry. Yeah, the basic step is discovery and assess, prioritization, report, remediation, and verify. Yeah, I leave this one to you guys to have a read after the session by you guys yourself. So for common vulnerability and attack surface, those are the things like unpatch the software OS. I mean the most famous one, Log4j, and some maybe misconfiguration, um, maybe you find the open S3 bucket, right, and have some, and also maybe you find something have a default credentials, um, and also some weak authentication, maybe it doesn't have MFA or the password reuse. Those are some common vulnerabilities. But I would say those kind of things is not every single of them can be found by you run a like active scan, especially let's say for the 0 day that those are new vulnerabilities in a certain type of device. The majority of the time that the vendors do use, um, they probably maybe at least 2 or 3 days late, after the 0 day got published or widely published on internet. And because those vendors, they need, based on the 0 day, write the corresponding plugins or a certain scripts to detect that vulnerability. So all of those things take time. So that's actually a bit sad for security engineer that somehow, sometime we're always chasing the attacker's tail. Hardly there's a time that we can be like a bit ahead of them. But would still say that vulnerability management is one of the several methods you can do and can make you protect yourself first. I mean, protect yourself before attacker actually finds something from you. Yeah. Um, Here I want to discuss a recent, famous, um, it's not it's actually not a vulnerability. I would say it's like uh, an event or something. It's not event. It's like ATP group from China and leverage some vulnerabilities, and doing something. Yeah. So I named the Salted Typhon, which actually is a campaign like exploring and unpatch the internet-facing Cisco network, by utilize two vulnerabilities, which I think both like published by not published, both found at 2023. But I would say not every organization. You will always see that some organization, some like some security incidents, like published online or announced to the public because they unpatched some certain devices. And this salty typhoon is one of the example that because those unpatched Cisco device, um, and the vulnerabilities got utilized by attacker, and this attack actually impacts several big telecommunication companies globally, uh, especially in US, UK. Yeah. And the APT organization, like group, named the Red Mic, actually exploit more than 1,000 Cisco devices globally. Yeah. Yeah, this is a key findings around this salty typhon. So if you guys interested, you can also Google online. There's quite a lot materials online, and some of them published by those big vendors. You can have a look. This is really popular recently. Tools for vulnerability management: Nessus, Tenable, Colors Rapid 7. There are actually quite a lot open source on GitHub too. You can just download and have a look. Configuration management. For example, the CIS benchmark. When you configure a scan instead of a tool, you actually, if you want to check do a compliance scan, which is try to check the configuration based on a certain benchmark. So CIS benchmark is one of the uh, one is the one that I use the most. Yeah. And you probably, and if we talk about patch management system, then you have, let's say, a CCM, yeah, and a few of others. Best practice in AR and VM. So definitely, I mean, develop and test an incident response plan. I would say that we have a different level of plans or procedures. So like the day-to-day monitoring, policy and rules. Each of them will have a pre-plan or playbook or procedures. But we also have a like critical incident response um, handbook, which particularly designed for the P1 or even P0, for the things that not captured by security engineer day-to-day work, for those emergencies that suddenly happen. Yeah. So that's actually quite common in the industry too. Yeah, and also let's say for use threat intelligence for proactive security, prioritize your vulnerability, and also automate scan and patch, and do tabletop exercises and red team simulation. Tabletop exercise and red team simulation, that's actually also something. I mean, in my organization, uh, in our red team, that's actually something that's actually some their day-to-day work. We non-stop do threat hunting and simulation and the tabletop exercises in our organization. Yeah. Career tips and resources. Um, yeah, those are the things. But to be honest, there's quite a lot of things you can find online. And I guess the certification part I list is not really suitable for like junior or entry level people. But you just search or Google online is quite a lot. I would say like certificate is one part. I personally don't really like take certificates. It's some of the certificate, um the things it teach me I cannot use in my like daily work, but I do say that you need some certificates to enter the industry. um yeah, yeah. Just try to learn as much as possible if you have the chance to do some hands-on projects. And especially I think for security people, the most important thing is you need maintain or keep a level of sensitive of security incidents or the security trend. So actually communities and also like this kind of meetups is really really good. And also you always need to read a lot, those security blogs and the news. That's actually something that you should check every day. So um, for myself, I actually built this new center for myself in my teams, which I put some of the RSS feeds into Teams. So once there's a new security related article, it will send a notification to my teams. If I have time, then I will just go there, have a read. So I use this way to keep myself up to date about the new trend of technology, about the new, let's say, security issues happening in the world, those sort of things. Okay, then we are on the Q&A discussion. You guys have any questions want to ask me?
Yeah, thanks, Coco, and for a wonderful presentation. Really appreciate that. So, if you guys have any question, you can leave it in the message chat. So once we pick it up, we can ask. So let me start with something, Coco. So, from my experience, right, is the incident response these days is quite related with like a GRC, because I feel like currently is our audience, right? We have a bunch of people who would like to go into the GRC area
Yeah.
are already doing some GRC in the banking industry. So from my side is these days I feel like incident response vulnerability management is closely related with compliance requirement. So for this kind of things, right? For this kind of things, do you have any like suggestions and how we can do the things smartly to meet the requirements? Because when I was assisting, right, the compliance involved gathering the evidence or like a reference or document, I spent a huge amount of time on like digging through, different conference page, different Jira tickets, and trying to track, the incident status and formulate them into a table where those GRC person can consume and provide as evidence to pass the certificate. So for make the incident response people life easier when we are talking about GRC compliance? Do you have any suggestion?
Um, I do have quite a lot like conversations with our internal CN and GIA. Like people, we actually split the GRC into two teams. So I actually talk with both of them, and I also did suffer a lot when helping them to prepare those evidence and go through all the interviews with both internal and external auditors. Um, but I would say like for some organizations like Spark, we do have quite a lot legacy systems. Um, to pass, to pass those certificates on those legacy systems is truly a challenge for us. And we do, prepare quite a lot of things. But since I'm in automation team, after last year, I do see the chance that we can automate some of the actions in the whole procedure. Let's say because majority of the time, take PCI DSS as an example. Every year we will have agreement with the external auditor says what is the audit scope, right? So majority of the time the scope won't change. It will be I would say 80% of the scope will be exactly same as last year. So when we gather evidence, you will see that if they ask me to provide, they say, can you show me the log retention? If you satisfy, let's say 18 months log retention period, except the timestamp is different, all the rest of the steps are same, right? So for that kind of things, we can just easily automate that. But I would also want to mention that truly some steps is really hard to automate, especially for, let's say for Spark, we do have legacy system, but we also have legacy system on the way to migrate to cloud. So you will see that during this year audit period, you just suddenly you are migrate just in the middle, you are on the way to migrate from one system to another. So normally, I guess by auditor's requirement, they will ask you to provide both evidence. I would say for that kind of thing, it's really hard to escape. Yeah, and also we actually have another procedure with our GIA team. If there's a new project and after risk assessment, they will pass the case to incident response team to implement the log monitoring. I would say for all of those new projects, we try to do the right thing at day one. So different with legacy system, we don't want to introduce our further problems or issues and then we will suffer during the audit, so when we redesign or rebuild or just a new build project, we try to do everything um, like follow the compliance. So if there's a big project, so GIA will do the risk assessment from the risk perspective. We will also have the CA team to review and to say if this project is under audit scope. If it is under auditing scope, they will also assess all the criteria and requirements and package all of those things send to CDO team to do all the necessary steps. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the answer. So I got a feel from Nick. So what is the best approach to performing security incident automation to handle false positives, right? And using runbook. So what kind of tool would you use or recommended?
I would say previously I use ServiceNow Flow Designer, but we also on the way to mm, I mean like to see other vendors. Splunk SOAR actually is also quite nice. I also have a talk with FortiGate SOAR. But I from last year RSA, I forgot I think it's named the RSA. That's the biggest security events happened in the world. At the US. So last year there are two really good companies. One named Times, another one I forgot the name. I had a talk with them. I actually like their tool very much. It's Python native the tool, which you can, and it's a cloud based. You can easily just write your runbook, even just directly interact with Python inside of it and do all the automation on that. But I would say that to be honest, I don't know other companies' situation for Spark, like I mentioned, we are on we big company, and then we are telecommunication probably already in New Zealand market around 40 or 50 years. So we have a bunch of legacy systems. We have quite a lot of systems like we self-developed. So um, the runbook or playbook cannot solve all the automation requirements, I would
Mm,
say. So we in-house, we write quite a lot of code and develop quite a lot APIs by ourselves to support some customized automation requirements,
mm,
So um, our majority of the SOA or automation tools, you can just easily install the add-on into it, and then you can easily link, let's say, Splunk
mm,
to let's say Defender or whatever, and link them together and do the automation. But for the rest in-house developed tools, then we use the API developed by ourselves to link them together and um, to do the automation. Yeah.
mm, mm. All right,
Okay.
that's good. And we have a next question. So from Nick as well. So, could you share some examples or process or procedures and for threat hunting, and how could we improve our skill sets in those areas? Yeah.
To be honest, I'm not expert on threat hunting. Threat hunting and the red team lead by my friend, who is also a Chinese actually. If you guys are interested, we can I can let him to do another sharing with you guys. But based on my understanding, like mm, our threat hunting engineer, they actually follow quite a lot of ATPs. They actually non-stop check what are the ATPs that particularly target telecommunication, and also they get those informations from the threat intelligence platform, which managed
Mm-hmm.
by my team. And based on those ATPs and based on the tactics, they will just simulate the same thing and then do the threat hunting inside of our own environment. First, they probably will check if we have enough log to show those kind of things. Uh, if not, then definitely something that we need to work on. But if there are, they will just try their best to see if there's any um, evidence to show that we also get impacted of those things. The and threat hunting actually, you guys know that for incident response, you will have a incident ticketing system, right? But for threat hunting, they also have a similar I would say system to record what they try to find and how they find what the steps. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but truly, I'm not the expert on that. That's what I can answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's okay. So the next question is from Ryan. So he said, "What would you think are good candidates and for the new graduate and for the junior incident response role? How would their resume be like? As you mentioned, that hands-on experience matters, right? And could
Mm.
you would the hands-on experience like the labs on try hack me cons or you yourself set up environments or it has to be like a professional context.
I would say what kind of hands-on experience will all count into the interview. And to be honest, um, it's really hard to hide that. Um, if I ask you a question, say that, can you tell me how you write the Splunk rule or how you do this, do that, and just bravely give me steps, no matter which way or where you do that. As long as you do that, it will be really easy to tell during the interview, right? And
Mm,
we don't do that for junior engineer, but for the senior engineer, during we do set up one lab environment. That's one part of the interview. So they need to do the lab I would say exam first, and we only like face to face like provide the in-person interview for the people who pass the lab exam. Yeah, but for junior incident response role, we to be honest, we just examine the basic security concepts. And even for those, as long as they can answer majority of the security concepts and they have the mindset to answer those kind of things, that's actually is okay. Yeah, but when we read their resume, to be honest, I don't read a lot like junior resume.
mm,
Uh, the other of my colleague has quite a lot of experience. So again, if you guys interesting, I can also let him to do another sharing with us. But I would say certainly you need some certificate, and shows that you have the motivation and to step into the industry, those kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for the answer. Anyone has any other questions? Because, yeah, I totally agree with you, your opinion, Coco, because attitude matters, right? Attitude is, I think it's much more than your knowledge base, especially for a entry-level person. So it's not like they are willing to learn, because learning is a long journey, right? In the rest of
Yeah,
your life,
exactly.
you keep learning that. So learning is fine with AI's enhancement. But if you wish to learn, if you're really motivated to learn, that's the key. And for moving
Yeah,
forward.
exactly. Yeah. And I would say, like, for security, it has so many different topics, right? Even if you see the CISSP book or the exam, you see how many like areas the security has. And nowadays, even with AI, all of those things, I guess soon CISSP will have another chapter to talk about AI security, right? So based on the technology, I mean, changed rapidly, and security also need to follow. So it's I would say it's a non-stop uh like learning journey. Yeah, if you don't have the right mindset, but if you don't have the attitude, or if you are not really motivated into the industry, it will be really hard for you to go further in the industry, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for the answer. So, anyone has any other questions? Otherwise, we're gonna finish now. Okay, so it looks like everyone is fine. All right, thanks, Coco. Really appreciate your time and experience.
Nice.
And thank you, everyone, and for taking time to join the online meetup. The next time we will post the events in the topic, maybe just online. And please just follow us on our LinkedIn profile. You will get the latest information for our activity in the rest of the year. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you.
Thank you.